episode of Don't Drink Alone. I'm your host, Bill Wallace, along with my lovely, across from the other table host.
Her name's Tricep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sarah
That-
the Tricep Wallace. That's what we call
I
her.
know that wasn't my tricep.
That's your
Yeah,
bicep.
that
I
was
knew that. Gail, I knew that.
fantastic. For our dozen of followers, they're going to have a lot of fun with this one. All right. We have
There
a
was,
couple
there was
of...
some like
Some
talk
context.
beforehand.
There's context, which we'll totally get
Doesn't
to
matter.
within all of this.
I have no
We have a couple of guest hosts who are going to introduce themselves as
They're
well.
just
You've
guests.
probably
Really, are they
seen
hosts?
them. Oh my goodness
They're just
gracious!
I'm Andrea.
I am Tim.
I'm Bridget.
Fantastic. And today we've had too much wine already. We're gonna dive into tourist wine and talk about that. So I already poured one. Go ahead
You
and pour
didn't know?
whatever
No.
you want.
I just come over for,
Yeah.
For
bring
the
drinks.
For the
For the
quality
culture and the
conversation. And
So we have 3 wines that are out that would be considered quote unquote tourist wines.
oh, I should probably should do
in-
full.
in
I almost did a
I mean,
full
don't
big
like,
poll.
yeah, don't like
I mean,
pour
look at
a-
Bill's
I know.
poll
And
there.
Grenache. I'm having that.
So, how
you
did
can
you
share.
decide
Excellent honor.
which,
So yeah.
flavor?
So
Wait, should we define
What do you have in?
tourism first?
that's
Tourism.
exactly. I think that's where we begin. So
Isn't it funny when Bill tries to like steer the conversation in one way? And he's like,
Or talk in general.
but he doesn't tell us what he's gonna do, and so then we have questions and comments and. Go ahead, Bill. I'm good.
okay. So the
Sorry.
thought behind
Sorry.
this was like there's great wine all over, and we've talked about that. You know what? If you're in a place where they serve wine and you like it, drink it. That's great. That's really all. That's it. There are certain places like their industry is wine. Walla Walla industry is wine. Lots of California places, Napa, Sonoma, their industry is wine. But more and more, you can go to just any place and you'll be like, hey, there's a winery here. Hey, there's a wine store here. Hey, there's a wine whatever here. I should go check it out. And that is often labeled, in my opinion, as tourist wine. Your expectations are low, the price point is going to be high. Is it worth it? Is it still interesting? Are you going to be surprised when you find something that's really good? Or are you just enjoying the fact that you're on vacation and it's sunny?
It's not a bad thing.
And
Yes.
all, yeah, and all of
Sometimes
things.
wine is influenced by its surroundings.
That's 100% true, right? So I thought we would try 3 wines that are in quote unquote
Flex on
tourist areas that I'll freely admit we're a little biased towards a couple of these already because we've talked about them. They've been on our podcast before.
Weird.
But I was
Member,
like, yeah,
member.
yeah,
Non-member.
don't say that. And then just kind of talk that through. So for us, I think the introduction to tourist wine was actually Odd and Hunter.
Yeah, that for you guys, yeah.
Yeah, so Sarah and I were out on Whidbey Island. We walk into this place, we're like, oh, they got wine here. We like wine. We'll try it out. Expectations
Yeah.
low.
I mean, I just want to give more context. We were there with all of our children.
Yep.
I think actually Peyton was over 21 because I think Elsie was with us, now his wife, and we were just there on vacation, for the day, whatever.
Yep.
And yeah, Bill sees this place. We should check this out. And so we gave our children money to go get ice cream across the street. We went into Odd and Hunter.
Yep. And started tasting the
And
wine.
you know what? They enjoyed their ice cream
They did. The ice cream
as
was
much as we enjoyed the wine.
nearly
Good ice
as
cream
good.
down there.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't know. I didn't have any that day, but
Well, we're all
No.
happy you went into Otten
yeah, it was, they're all members now, and it was the snobbiest little experience.
Not,
was
not
fun.
on Odd and Hunter's side.
No.
On
Bill,
Bill's side.
Bill likes to talk, and maybe we've said this before. So you maybe have watched another one of these one podcasts, which is like 2 of you. You heard this, but if not, yeah. So we're there, and Bill's like asking the guy questions about the wine he's serving. We find out later he's actually the winemaker, and finally he stops Bill after all these questions. And he goes, "So are you in the wine industry?" Oh my gosh. Bill's like, "No, I just fully support it." So yeah, no, he just sounds like a super wine geek. Not a snob. You're not a wine snob. People think that. It's not true.
No, just geek.
Wine
Okay,
geek.
geek
yeah,
is
yeah.
a really good.
I'll accept one.
Not a wine snob.
Yes.
Because that's different. But
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. But anyway, we were not expecting it to be any good, to be honest.
Yep.
Because it was just this random little place on
Right on
Big
an island. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's kind of funny. So you said you go to Tourist Wine and expectations are low, but the vibes are high. But I think that's speaking to maybe this group here, expectations low. Like, you think, I think a more common wine drinker who might not spend
$40 a bottle.
$40 to $50 a bottle of wine, right? They might go with actually high expectations because I'm here
And I'm
at this
spending-
destination
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have an experience, you know. So I actually kind of curious, like when people are doing tourist wine, it's not like
No,
it's-
that's
they
interesting.
take it differently. You know what I mean?
Because, there's no wine shaming. But if you drink like hot strap, I mean, something that's high market,
Yeah.
and honestly, it's not great wine.
Yeah. A lot of
But
chefs.
that's
have
fine. Like some
Chardonnay,
people
all
just
that
like
stuff,
argue that's what they're used to drinking, and then they go to some place like Ott that they happen upon, and it actually is really good quality wine. You're right. They're like, oh, but then they might think the wine's really expensive because they're just not used to paying that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But most of these places are touristy wine, but the price point is still $40
Yep.
Yeah.
for a bottle. But that's normal at a winery.
Yeah, that's it. Like, yeah, so I try to pick places. So we have a wine from Whidbey Island, Odd and Hunter, which we've talked about a lot. One from Leavenworth, which, if you know, Washington is pure tourist. Like, that's all they do is tourist stuff.
In Leavenworth,
Yeah, in
here, Tim will try it for you.
Yeah, well, like Leavenworth is built around tourism. Like
Totally
that's
is.
their whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And so now there are a number of
That's your
wineries
stick.
that have opened up places there, and this is a true Leavenworth winery, Leavenworth Wenatchee. So I thought that'd be more fun than just other places that have.
Well, and when we stopped there, I didn't expect much.
Yep.
Again, it's that thing.
Yeah, same
Where I was like,
expectations.
oh, it's just a Leavenworth
Yep.
like winery because they know they have tourists and they'll drink anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds really
And
good.
Bill and I went in there and we're like,
Right?
oh,
Wait,
like
wait a second.
this is legit.
This is actually
This
pretty
is
good.
good stuff.
Yeah. And then the last one is from Chelan, which same type of thing. Like,
Stop there.
yeah, Chelan is
gosh.
a
Fielding Hills.
Chelan's a legit Washington AVA.
Yeah.
But compared to Walla Walla and Boucher Vineyards and Red Willow and all those things like that, you know, it's Chelan. It's tourist. And yet, same type of thing. You go there, and if you're willing to experiment and try a little something, you end up at a Fielding Hills where you're like, wait, this is really good.
Well, a lot of times though, they don't even grow their grapes right there either.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are getting grapes from
Mhm.
similar spots over in eastern Washington.
Mhm.
But one thing that you'd said, like, or maybe it was
It was
Yeah,
probably
so
me.
Sarah.
It was probably it was
But if you're not used to drinking, like going someplace and drinking wine and you'll just drink it at home, or like I'll use my mom as an example. She's not a picky wine drinker, but she would go to
Hi,
a
Barb.
place. She would go to a place and just have order a glass,
Mhm.
and it has made a world of difference for us to like go and taste and actually experience like the tastings that each of them have, because you get such a wide range of, oh wow, this really is better than what I'm used to drinking.
Right, yeah.
But you might not know that if you're just going to order a glass and then that's all you're going to say.
House red. Give me your
Yeah.
house red.
Tasting,
Right.
You don't
yeah.
even know what-
Tasting
you don't
is
even know what it is.
Tastings are really interesting.
Yeah, and then you go to like someplace like Chelan, and then you realize in Leavenworth, oh, they have a tasting room, and it's the same
Mhm.
vineyard, so a lot of those wines kind of carry over. But
Yeah. Okay, it's interesting what you picked though.
Right. So
All
I
good.
just try to
Did you
pick
just
a
grab-
little bit of variety. So I have a GSM, which we've talked about. Then we have a Syrah, and then we have a Grenache.
You're just missing the independent.
Well, I could grab more of that if you want. We have one
Saying,
from
you
the
are
mill,
missing that.
but it doesn't quite fit the price point here. So yeah, again, these are all, and I think these are all actually typical good, both summer wines, tourist wines, destination wines. To get to Bridget's point, yeah, if you show up in one of these, so there's kind of two thoughts within it. You can, just buy a glass, or you can do a tasting. And their pitch is always going to be, hey, you do the tasting for $20, $30, whatever. And then if you buy two bottles, one bottle,
Still way
then
to
the
taste it.
then the tasting is waived. So many people go into that, they'll do the tasting, they'll buy the cheapest bottle that they can and bolt. Like that's the goal. You know what? You get such a better experience if you just aren't doing that.
Mhm.
If you're interested in actually talking to the person serving the wine.
Yep.
They'll
Asking
give
them
you more
questions.
tasting.
Oh,
too.
100% more.
They'll be like, oh, you want to try this side by side? These two
Yeah.
cabs?
Or
You're like,
we happen to
sure.
just open this thing that's
Right?
like
Yeah.
Oh,
not
yeah.
only for blah blah blah, and you guys are cool, so
Yeah, you guys are
I'll
actually
pour it for you.
curious about our wine.
Right, you
and
wanna know more.
Mhm, yeah. So
For sure.
yeah, and that's how you end up discovering. Wait, like
Like
this
you're gonna
Grenache
say
is
in-
really
in-
good.
Oh
you know,
my
5
gosh, amazing, yeah.
Plus wine clubs. That's probably not that many. Some of you are like 5. That's no big deal.
Oh, we do have a tip for you though.
Ooh, what is
Get
that?
all your friends together.
Oh, this is a good tip.
Each of you do a wine club, and then just keep going together.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it took us a long time. 'Cause
And if
maybe
you
we
don't have
drink
any
too much.
wine drinking friends,
Mm-hmm.
here we are. We're here for you.
We'll
Maybe
be your
we
friend.
could be a wine club.
Ooh.
Yeah, you gotta become like, you don't want them to get wind of it.
The don't drink alone
Because they're gonna be
wine
like,
club?
are you part of that like Wallace wine
The
group?
walls.
It would be like a block, the Wallace wine
Wine
block.
block.
That's
I
not a
like
bad
it.
idea.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right? And then we're
Lot of
no,
upside to that.
I don't know. I'm not sure what the upside is.
Well, we drink more
Wine.
so
Oh, and okay.
and that is the
Wine
upside.
is always
Well,
not
you
a
should
fine.
drink alone.
Very good.
We are not
So yeah,
members.
you
all of
have
these
ended
folks.
up. All of us have ended up. You know.
That one's new.
Yeah.
Or are you gonna say part of the wine club?
Well, yeah, at different wine clubs because we ended up doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Right? And all right, so how do you decide, okay, yes, I'm not just wooed by the gorgeous view
Yeah.
and the weather and
That's
da-da-da-da.
hard though.
How does that happen?
Well, I mean, I think you got to define like what you're looking for, like, because yeah, I mean, you can go to a place that has a beautiful view and a beautiful. I mean, a lot of these, I mean, you guys know they have these amazing estates,
Yeah.
especially in the tourist areas, Chelan and
Yeah.
all of these
Yeah.
beautiful estates. But like, what are you looking for? Like, are you looking for a beautiful view and you want just a glass of wine and you just want to move about your day, or like because. Or are you looking for a vibe? And I mean, we just joined a wine club because the vibe was just super cool,
Yeah.
right? Like,
They have good wine.
they have good
Yeah.
wine.
Wine,
Yeah.
and you can
And
get
the
there.
perks,
And
yeah.
that's part of it with tourist wine.
Yeah.
Like, tourist wine's great,
Yeah.
but can you join the wine club if you're never going back?
Exactly.
That's
How-
huge.
What do they do with
Do you
shipping?
get
and-
value
Yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
Because
club?
just being shipped a bottle of wine is like, that's cool, but it's more fun if
More
you
fun.
can say they're having a fall release and you get to go
Exactly.
because they're serving
Mhm.
appetizers and they have cool music and you just get to like,
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Drink
what
wine
I
with
to
other
answer
wine
your
drinkers.
question, because I don't think I really answered your question. I mean, I would.
Pretty typical for these
Weird.
podcasts.
I think there's a package though. I mean, you want good wine,
Mhm.
so, or interesting wine.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't because you don't have to love everything. But hey, that was interesting. That was different. It was fun. So you've enjoyed what you tasted.
Mhm.
I think the vibes of your server have to be right.
Yeah.
Like you gotta like. They're not. They, I want somebody who's going to talk to us and have fun.
If there are any wine
and
producers
get my
out there
jokes.
watching this,
Yep.
honestly, your staff
servers
makes
are
such a
good.
difference.
It's
Yeah.
huge. Like if somebody who gets my jokes, somebody who gets Sarah
That's-
and
I
I
mean-
joke, like, if they get both of us,
I didn't.
I mean, right?
dude, like that's amazing. 'cause-
And yeah, I mean, if
way
it has a
funnier.
view, that's cool. But I don't think, like for me, that's not that's a plus, right? Like, but you know, if it has that, it's great. But it doesn't have to have it. What?
no, you're cool. Just keep talking.
You want to talk? You ready?
She's gonna
What?
talk anyway.
I'm not.
What's your
What?
opinion there,
What?
Sarah? What's your opinion?
What's the question?
What are you looking for, right?
How do you?
No,
Yeah, how do you
Evaluate.
Yeah, how do you take the step from okay, this was just a fun experience. I'll do the tasting.
Yeah.
I'll buy a bottle. I'll join the club. Like, what's the?
Okay, for me, a lot of it's price point. If I'm paying $25 for a tasting and the bottle's $35, $40, I'll pay for a bottle.
Yeah.
Because
No.
I may as well take something home, and then
Well,
I just
yes.
paid $15 to taste.
Honestly,
couple
even if it's
glasses of
average
wine.
at that point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, because if you go out to dinner and you buy a glass of wine, you're paying
Very
at
practical
least
approach.
$10 for a glass,
Jeez,
right?
yeah.
And a tasting's maybe not quite two. If you have like a 5
Yeah, some
Like
are
we
1
went
ounce
today and
pours,
you
some
have,
are
you have
2 ounce
5
pours,
2 ounce
blah, blah,
pours.
blah,
It's like
yeah.
10 ounces. That's a glass and a
I mean,
half.
what tastings
You know what I
range
mean?
anywhere from
So-
15 to
30?
30,
Yeah.
35?
The only, I mean, sometimes we've gone and we've been like, we're not going to buy a bottle because it just wasn't that good.
Yeah, you
I
need to be
mean-
comfortable walking away. It's like buying a car, right? Like,
Yeah, and
I can
honestly,
walk
that's
away.
hard. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
hard.
other people do that, but
Mhm.
I have a hard time just going to. When I go into a tasting, I
Mhm.
usually assume we'll go home with a bottle
nope.
Yeah.
because to me, it's price point.
Yep.
Price point, and may as well
Points on the ground.
points on the ground. That's for you, Carter.
But again, if you're thinking the wine's and
Then
it's
I'll walk away.
$60 or $70
No,
a bottle,
I won't do it.
Yeah.
you're gonna walk away.
Yeah,
Just walk
no,
away.
that's true. And again,
They're
that's,
25 bucks
That's
and-
Who
price.
cares about
That's price.
Yeah, you had a
Yeah,
you had a glass and a half of wine for $25.
Right.
Right.
But it's funny because a lot of people
Call
are
it a day
scared.
and
Mhm.
Are
enjoy your experience.
I don't know if scared's the right word, but like they don't want to buy the bottle because they're like, well, the bottle's like $35, $40. And I'm like, you look, but yet you go to a restaurant and pay
Yeah.
$12 for a glass. And I don't think,
I
like,
think
do the
more-
math. That is a quarter of a bottle of wine.
Are most
You
of
just
them a
bought a
bottle?
$48 bottle.
I feel like a
Well,
lot of
quarter
them now are two
Two
wave a
bottles.
tasting.
You just-
Two,
yeah.
two to
A
wave
lot of
tasting.
them are,
Yeah.
and
The
that
last
gets a
couple
little
years,
So if
tricky.
you
Yeah.
get two people, now you're
Yeah.
buying 4 bottles, we have 2
Mhm.
tastings, and so
Well, I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
What's a glass? Like 6 ounces?
Honestly, if we, and
Between
here's
4
the
and
other
6
thing.
ounces.
Like
Yeah.
we're like doing true wine tasting, and you're like, okay, we're gonna go wine tasting today. I have discovered 2 wineries is a happy limit for me.
Oh, that's a good
Unless,
point.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
At
mean,
3, you
unless
don't know if it was good or
Yeah.
not.
By the time you get to the
Especially
third,
in your
Yeah.
touristy, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of.
I mean, unless you've like gone home and ate a meal and done other things, and you go back out
Plates
much
and
later.
pickleball.
Jump
Yeah.
in the lake.
Jumped in the lake,
jet
like
ski,
swam around.
baby.
But you could people will book 3 wineries in a row, and you will not. You
You
will
better-
not make
No,
good choices.
The
at
last
third
winery, all that wine will be good.
Yeah,
Like-
it's the best wine you've ever had.
The third one
You're
should
having
be
a
someplace
great
you remember,
experience.
right?
Yeah,
Like where
right.
the tastings
Very
are free, right?
I mean,
not go to a place
no.
you've never been.
I mean, I really do. I'm like, I recommend 2 wineries.
I think we've all done that. We
Two
bought a
wineries.
bottle of wine and later on
We're like, oh.
Why did I buy this
good?
And I've had people ask that. They're like, I go home and I'm like, I don't know why I bought this bottle because it was your 3rd winery. That's why. Or you don't drink much. It was your 2nd winery. It's been too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, because the experience adds so much
Yes.
to
Mhm.
Wow, that Grenache.
how you liked that wine.
Right?
I mean,
Do you like the
sorry,
Grenache?
the Grenache.
Grenache,
Chris,
people.
Okay,
Hot
yeah,
Hunter,
Chris,
oh my
way
gosh,
to go.
you
Woo!
are literally the man.
We don't lift up Odd Hunter enough.
I mean, I've had all 3. I've done responsible
Dude, you
pours.
have?
This is actually a
I've done
2021
responsible
Grenache.
pours.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I've done
I
responsible
started with the
pours.
Field
Mine's
Hills,
still
and
on
that was really good. The Chateau Fair, that
Weird.
that was definitely
That's so
3rd
weird.
ranked. But holy
Really?
cow, yeah, it's
Well,
1,
okay.
2, 3 in that order for me.
This,
So,
I
not
mean,
that we're
maybe our
ranking it in
topics
this
are going
podcast,
like
but-
all over here, but Grenache is not like a common varietal. Like
So
you don't go out, at a restaurant. People are like, yeah, Merlot, Syrah.
Restaurants are lame. With
Gre-
wine,
yeah,
let's be
well, they
honest.
are.
I mean, come on.
Grenache is my new like
mhm.
super. It's not my favorite, but I
You'll
just
see
like it. 'cause
this a lot. The
it's
GSM.
Are you
Yeah.
interrupting me?
Nope, I'm not.
I'm done now. It's cool.
I have no response to that. So you'll see this a lot. There's a Grenache Syrah Mourvèdre blend, a GSM. You see that a lot. It's a very, very common blend. And that's because, honestly, it's a little easier to blend the 3 than to get a really good Syrah on its own or a really good Grenache on its own. I think that's really,
I think
really
that.
hard.
I think the Grenaches are well. I don't make wine,
Yeah.
but you don't find as many Grenaches like if you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You
No,
don't stumble upon a Grenache, and people don't tend to know what it
I
is.
think you only find them at wineries.
Well, what'd you
And
say?
it's lighter.
80%? It have to be 80%?
75%.
75% to even be called that.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be often a mix.
Yes. Yeah. Like, unless it says it's 100% on there.
Right there.
It's all good. You know, yeah,
Gosh,
like
smooth.
Like this one's 93% Syrah,
There you go.
7% malt.
yeah.
And it's pretty.
So yeah, just yeah. So it calls itself a Syrah, and yeah, it just has a little bit that gives it a different bit of flavor, and that's
100%.
That's the wrong way.
oh, that's 100%
That's good.
Grenache, right?
Oh.
From Boucher. Oh,
Yeah.
my
Oh,
Chris.
Boucher is a good region. If you ever
Only
look at the back of the
600
bottle,
bottles
it says
produced.
it's from Boucher.
We need to go back. We
I
gotta-
know.
Chris, can you put all the rest of these
Yeah,
aside?
we'd like to
So I would like to buy all of the rest of your 21 Grenache.
Grenache is so interesting because it's lighter. It's actually a little. I think it's a little more like a Pinot, and I don't love Pinots usually, but you can kind of chill it.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's great in summer.
Summer's ending, but if you still got a hot day, you can put that in the fridge for about 30 minutes before you open it.
I mean, shoot, just turn the oven on for 3-4 hours. And it's gonna be really hot. And you're just chill it, and it's great. Summer in the kitchen.
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm like, you want hot wine? What?
No. Roll up the kitchen.
Get the
Yeah,
kitchen
just
warm
get it
and then
nice
take
and
the
warm
chilled
and
wine
then,
out. Yeah.
There you go.
you know,
Give the illusion.
maybe
that
put a
it's
sun on the
more hot side.
television.
That's a Washington thing to do. Let's pretend it's warm.
All right.
Right.
All right, so takeaways. When you're at a tourist place and you get a chance to try some tourist wine, what's your takeaway?
That's a big question. What's my takeaway?
What's your takeaway?
Oh
Who's got a
man,
takeaway?
you just
I would take away. If
okay.
you're in a touristy spot and they have wine and it, like, definitely go and try it. Yeah, for good or bad. Like, it's why not?
Mhm.
And sometimes you find it an amazing gem that you never knew you were gonna like come across. Can I just say one thing? Go back to your last question. We went to Fielding Hills in Chelan, and part of it was the experience for sure, because it was just this beautiful spot on the bluff. We were really lucky because the wine is phenomenal, but it's also like a lovely spot just to sit and drink and
Yeah.
taste and whatever. So then you could sit there for hours and hours.
We
and
kind
hours.
of did, I think.
We did do that, but there, I think for me it is definitely the experience. It's who you're with, but it's also like where you're at. Because if you were just in this little, I don't think we would have the same experience, or we would have stayed as long if we were in a tasting room
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
because they were, it's just
That is part
it
of
all
the vibe.
it does all work for me.
Yep.
Like I need all of that.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
A lot of times when we're being tourists, I don't necessarily go to the one where you see everybody at. Sometimes
Yes.
we try and find the
No.
stuff that maybe is a little
Yeah.
bit more mom and pop, or you
Or do
know,
a little research.
Yeah, do a little
Yeah.
research
Yeah.
because just because
Or
a lot of
Connell.
people are there doesn't necessarily mean it's the best wine in the
Yeah.
area.
No, it just means it's
So
clickbait.
yeah, so
most popular, like
it just
well-known,
happens
like,
to be
Yeah.
the most
see it at
well known.
Costco and all
Yeah.
the
That's-
grocery
Yeah,
stores.
just
That's not
tasted
the big stuff.
Leavenworth was smaller. And
Lick,
you
Lick
found
Hole,
it.
super busy. Woodward, nobody's there.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's better?
Right?
Yeah.
Woodward.
Right
They're
next
both
to each
good.
other.
They're both good, but
But,
Woodward is
yeah.
better. Chelan, like there are some places in Chelan that are touristy and always busy,
Mhm.
and there are a couple of places that you should go to.
Yes.
Right?
But if we come in the door and it's busy, then you need to like move yourself.
Yeah. This doesn't mean it.
So
My
yeah,
takeaway,
try something.
Someone
new.
is
yeah. I think my takeaway is it's totally vibe, and the more I think about it, like it's the wine, I think it's the experience, like who you made a good comment, like who's with you, like what are the memories you're making, and like going to a winery is a ton of fun, and yeah, I mean the wine, I love wine, and the wine is great, but it's better with, I mean the show's called Don't Drink Alone, and he didn't coach me on this, but like yeah, take people that you love. That's my America or
Actually,
world.
I
Take
will
people you
say,
love, and your experience will be way better.
I do like that because it's so true,
Mhm.
right? It depends who you're drinking with.
Mhm.
And sometimes the wine might not be amazing, but if you're having a good time,
Right?
just
We've
drink
had good
it.
times with bad wine
We've had
because
good
we
times
were
with bad
together.
wine,
Yeah.
We were
right?
together, and we had good times
And
with
you're
it.
like,
Make-
it's
you know?
good. I mean, will I buy the bottle and take it home? Maybe not. But did I have a good time at the winery? Yeah.
There you
That's why I say you're not a wine snob, because we're not like, I won't drink that. Because sometimes the wine, sometimes the experience is better than the wine.
Yes.
go. Very true.
And that's fine.
Very true. There you go.
Yeah.
So
What, you don't have a takeaway?
What's your takeaway?
my
I already
takeaway-
gave you mine.
Yeah. Yes. My takeaway would be I think it's always worth trying. If you're watching this, then you're one of the 12 people that just like really enjoys trying new wines. So try it. Don't feel guilty about walking out. But yeah, also be open to maybe both a different wine and a different memory and a different experience that you haven't had before, because that's the fun of it. So just like we had right here. So thank you all. Fantastic. We'll see you next week or possibly.
No, it won't be next week.
Yeah.
Next week's school, right?
We're not good at that.